This nest, the parent used it with outside materials, grass, leaves, and that.
Hey, how's it going, guys? So about 1 year and 2 months ago, probably, I left my job as a fireman. I was a firefighter for 6 years at one station, 1 year at another, and 1 year at another. I put out a video, I don't know, last summer at some point, and I didn't really intend for it to go anywhere. It got a lot of views, and I got a ton of emails, a huge response. So many firefighters and police officers and service members contacted me and said that the video, they found it really helpful. And that was actually really surprising, because I really did put that video out just, I don't know, more of a personal thing, just to sort of have some sort of closure to that chapter of my life and start the new chapter. And so the purpose of today's video is to really just give you guys an update on how we're doing and what we've done, what we've accomplished in the last 14 or 15 months since quitting my job as a professional firefighter. And there's a lot. We've done so much. There's so much that we've accomplished. There's so many things going on. There's so much that we're still working on. When I left the fire service, I 100% expected my life to get, I don't know, quieter. I thought that we were going to be running on like a really airtight budget, have like no money, no time to travel, nothing like that. And I really did work my ass off the first year. We called it our grind year, and that was the year that we just worked and worked. Not to say I'm not still doing that, it's just last year, that first year outside of the fire service, I was so anxious and so stressed out from leaving, you know, my dream job, my career, and going into business on my own, just sort of self-employment, that all I could really do was just work. So what is it that I do now? I will go through the long list. It's a huge long list. We do a fair amount of farming. We have cattle, Christmas trees, and hay. Last year we put a lot of infrastructure in, a lot of fences, H-bracing and gates everywhere, separate paddocks. And since doing that, it's been a bit easier. We have some hired help that comes out, helps me with some of the in and out every day type stuff. But one of the first things I wanted to do was secure like my food. I wanted to have really good, healthy food. I believe that meat is going to be a commodity that's going to be harder and harder to get to and I think it's really important to be healthy. And so we make sure that we have a super active lifestyle, we eat really healthy food, and we try to grow or raise what we can here on the farm. Huh?
Are you filming?
Wow, film.
Everyone mad I'm not wearing a bra again.
How dare you? Cover your nipples. Despicable wench.
Hello. You want to surprise him with a box surprise?
Look at that layer of fat on it.
So we killed him. Now we butchered him, Swear. We butchered him. Now we gonna eat him every day. Not every day.
And that does cut down on our spending when we're raising all of our own meat. It's trashed. If you've been paying attention, some of you might remember there being a barn here. A few months ago, I tore it down. We had planned on building a wedding venue and running it out of that barn. Unfortunately, that barn was just too far gone, and there was no possible way we could ever get it signed off without investing like 50 grand into restoring that barn. I ended up tearing it down. I'll be building a new barn kind of right where we're driving right now. And that project is going to cost quite a bit, so it's been kind of delayed a little bit, but if we're getting to it, it's going to be a ton of fun once we do build it. I'm super excited. And we're still doing the wedding venue plans. We have an Airbnb that I'll show you guys later that I built last year, but really cool. That was sort of most of last year was working towards building the wedding venue, because we didn't really know what we were going to do for work. And so it was sort of just like a mad rush to to do that. Basically, we took like our 10-year plan of being, building a wedding venue while being a firefighter, turned it into like a 2-year plan of building a wedding venue while being just a YouTuber. Definitely wear a lot of hats now that I've left the fire service. I do a whole lot of things. I have a media company that it's about to kind of go public. I have 3 clients right now, and I basically manage a team of 4, almost 5 people soon to help run people's social media profiles, and that's what brings in a strong majority of our income. Since I've been a YouTuber, Instagrammer for a long time, I kind of know the ins and outs of the industry. I can do this for you, but I'm gonna do it on a private contract because I just don't do bosses anymore. And that's kind of what turned into me having several clients, building a team, trying to automate it, making a system, and so far it's been extremely rewarding and super fun. When I left, it didn't really matter what I did or how much I made. I just needed out. The department I worked for was really crooked and corrupt. The leadership was just really poor. There was a gaggle of dudes who I think knobs is like the perfect terminology for it. They're like the uppity guys that just do everything directly by the book. I don't know, I was experiencing these 2 separate lives where I had my YouTube channel was doing well, and then I had my career, and it's kind of weird to have split directions. I really honestly haven't even thought about it that much. I had a run of really bad calls. I didn't deal with them the way I should have. I didn't have the support group at the fire station like I should have, and it sort of caused this internal turmoil. And then I was living 2 separate lives where one life I was a YouTuber and everything was supposed to look fantastic, the best day ever, because it's YouTube, and in reality I was just struggling. I just had a really hard time. I literally couldn't sleep. It really came down to not being able to sleep, massive adrenaline dumps every time I stepped foot at work. It's my one thing that made me feel better was making YouTube videos, and it felt like someday I might be able to get out of that turmoil by growing on YouTube, which is ultimately what happened. The problem was that it made it worse. I never struggled as a firefighter. In my opinion, I think I was a very good firefighter in comparison to a lot of them out there. I mean, holy shit. I think that I could have done really well as a fireman long term if I had just stayed with the right lieutenants. Even some of the more strict dudes, it wasn't that. It was not that. It was a matter of respect, and there were certain people that I just couldn't respect because I could see right through their bullshit. Of course, there's things I could have done to save the fire career. There's things I could have done to save the YouTube career, and ultimately I ended up just sort of like, coming out of it, and I kind of missed my opportunity for YouTube. At least I feel like I did, and I obviously am no longer a firefighter. But people literally got talked off the edge by watching my videos, and that's pretty incredible. So let's keep talking about what I've done since I left. It's coming together out here. We've been doing landscaping, part of working towards making this place a venue. Although when you look around, a lot of times it's a little discouraging because it's such a mess. It doesn't seem like it's ever possible to have a venue here, but I know that if we just keep working every day, especially in the summertime, I know that we're gonna get there. And we've been really smart about it. We've been kind of doing everything on our own. I bought this dump truck recently, and it's been a workhorse. So I've been enjoying that. But I'm gonna take you guys down to the tiny house, which I'm gonna be working on today, doing some final finishes. We've just gotten so much done since quitting my job. I think it's because we've been able to just solely focus on our own interests and put all of our energy into our own things. And that includes business. That includes, our clients, because I feel like that's my own creative projects that I enjoy doing. Des over here, she's working with Cowboy, our horse that we got recently. Such a healthy horse. This is looking good over here. Slowly but surely. So all this has tarp underneath it so that weeds won't go through, and that way I have like an area where I can work with him. We're gonna build a big shelter and hayloft. And this hillside used to just be like a completely unmowable, super steep hill. I used a skid steer to carve this all out and make a road. I used some of these really cool beams to sort of make edging and sort of retaining wall and I'm gonna do a bunch more of that because I really like the way that turned out. It's gonna be a staircase on the other side. I wanted it to have at least some wheelchair access here on this side, and just a nice road that's not gonna get damaged.
Well good.
Oh yeah, it's looking really good.
It's just polluting the earth.
Okay, Greta. It might be polluting the earth, but farmers need diesel in order to make all of our food. Okay, so if you've been following me on my other platforms like Instagram, I'm doing TikTok now, but you might have seen some of this stuff already. I need to get all this gravel put in the right spots. I had to cut some stumps out, but this was my kind of my passion project last year. I was literally going through just the worst months of my life. I had like crazy night terrors, couldn't sleep, couldn't trust anybody, was just on edge all the time. My nerves were fried. Basically, what I did was hang out down here every day and build this. I had no idea how I was going to earn money, and one of the things that I thought maybe I would do to earn an income was have a little tiny house on the property and rent it out on Airbnb and try to make, you know, a few grand a month just to help cover the mortgage and some food. And so far it's taken way longer than I expected to make it, you know, happen, to get it started. We still haven't opened anything, but here it is. It's really, really cool. It took a lot of work. We bought the triangle house, like the frame of it, sort of half finished in Spokane, and we transported it all the way here behind my Raptor. I built concrete piers and I pushed it out onto the concrete piers, and then we built this deck beside it. And after the deck was in place, it kind of sat for a whole winter, and then last summer my buddy Mike and I figured out how to make the door work, how to use this reclaimed stained glass, and we built a crane. If you crank this handle, it actually raises the whole door all the way up. So there you go. The idea is that you can, you know, wake up to this beautiful area. It took a lot of engineering. We have like steel plates in there. It's a pain to get it to stop leaking. It still leaks pretty significantly, so we're gonna need to come in here and do even more sealing. I think I'm gonna use a Flex Seal tape. This consumed a lot of our time, or a lot of my time, and I honestly think that it helped me recover from just leaving my job and some of the issues that I was facing, and it really gave me time to come down here and just focus on something that had nothing to do with firefighting or even YouTube or anything like that. I didn't really film any of it. What are you doing with it? Did you bring the milk all the way down here for me to open it?
Yeah.
Here, just pull it. Grab on tight. There, now pull it. There you go. Where's the cap?
Oh, it's upstairs.
Upstairs, you mean all the way up at the house?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Dad, that's horrible for a video.
Well, I need to drink it down a bit so you can walk it back up. You just gonna carry it like that?
Mm-hmm. I'm really careful.
Okay, be careful. There's still a lot to do, but we have running water down here now. There's a fridge, there's a hutch for boozing. And I'll show you guys the outdoor restroom. So this whole area was like an actual swamp. All the water from this hillside here comes down, and we drove through here a few times. I got a trailer stuck and it just turned into a big mud pit. And so I needed to solve this issue without having to pull any permits. So I didn't build any permanent structures. As a farmer, I'm protected under the Right to Farm Act, and so I'm legally allowed to build roads and do irrigation work without permits, which is kind of nice. And so what I did was I put down heavy rock and then just set railroad ties down on top of it. They're all just floating there, and then just put gravel in between. And I think once it's all cleaned off, because I'm gonna get the pressure washer and wash this all off, It's just going to look really, really nice. Plus, I like the smell of railroad ties. I don't know about you guys, but I feel like it provides like a really nice atmosphere here. This is the outdoor restroom area. Has a shower, hot and cold water, hot shower. Right there is going to go a porta potty. I love how this rope turned out. And back here, you can see it's got a propane water heater from Amazon, and it's all plumbed up. Our Polaris, it's a really, really nice, top of the line, has all the electronics packages and all that. We turned it into a farm Polaris. Sprayers, barbed wire, crane. I don't have scissors. I have a knife. I totally forgot we're building a road that goes all the way out because it's super, super swampy, and so all of the material from the barn, like all the rock and concrete, we piled it down here so we can crush it, recycle it, and send it down the lane. So we got to go around. Look how Alan hung the lights.
Looks great.
Yep, and the bathroom's all like looking good. A little bit drier.
These are the ruts we got stuck on last time. Go ahead.
Oh my. So when I quit my job, I was super focused on finding security, but I wasn't going to find it from getting another job because that wasn't the life I wanted to live anymore. I wanted to be able to be free to create and try different business ideas and travel whenever I want and to become financially independent. And so it became a sort of like a race to get as many streams as I could of revenue. So I think the biggest point that I want to drive home here is that this sets a great example of how my hobbies in life were able to set me up to have options when the career that I thought I would love turned out to be something I hated doing. And I'm so grateful that I put the time in advance and just worked on stuff. This has been one of the biggest rewards of just using my time to grow passions and hobbies that I could have pay for themselves. So this isn't actually a quit your job video. This is a build skills video. Do hobbies, do something with your life, make changes and try new things. That's all I can say. You got to pick up new skills. You always got to challenge yourself, and at least that's my opinion. You got to go after it and try new things because you never know. You never know when you might want to change it. You might want to go a different direction. We grow so fast, and with technology changing everything so quickly, the amount of learning you can do, you can become whatever you want to be. So pick up skills, try new things, and make sure you leave room in life to pivot. Last year we put in all these fences right around October, and the soil was so wet it was really, really difficult. We damaged a lot of soil trying to do it. A lot of our fence posts didn't really work out. But we got the job done. We just got to do a little bit of maintenance soon. So I'm so grateful that I started working on this channel 7 years ago, and I've been building skills that I can use to pivot my lifestyle and be able to earn an income doing things I love. And that's what I want to encourage you guys to do. You don't necessarily have to look at it like, oh, I'm never going to become a millionaire doing this. I'm not going to become rich doing this. It's more or less, it's options for you in the future if things just don't go your way. Everyone wants to assume that their job is going to last forever. Things that I found is that your job is very finite and your boss can replace you within a week. And so having skills that you've built up, doing the things you love and finding ways to make them pay for themselves is just extremely wise. And if you start now, then you'll be better prepared for the future. One of the ways we get paid on this channel is through sponsors who give me a little kickback when you use their links. So I can offer you guys a 10% discount on Heretic Studio LED lights, which are made in the United States using solid blocks of aluminum. They're really, really high quality, and I've actually never managed to break one. So when you guys use that link below, you'll be able to save 10%. So thank you for doing that. I really appreciate it, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let's goes here. It's up like that. That makes total sense.
Vlog.
What?
You should insert a picture of these things.
Swamp rats?
The Princess Bride swamp rats, yeah.
That's exactly what they are. They're called nutria. They're a invasive species that were imported here from South America, and they kind of replicated beaver pelts. But they breed faster than beavers. So they brought them here, released them here, and they're super harmful to the to creek beds and to waterways because they eat the roots out from underneath everything, and then all your waterways spill out and it ruins your farm. So they're actually, a lot of places have a bounty on them. You're not legally allowed to capture and release them anywhere else. You have to kill them. And so I did get a live trap, but that's because I want to